I'll cut it off.
No. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Trish. Happy birthday to you.
And it was also her anniversary this week, so.
Happy anniversary.
All right, so item 4A is courtroom security. This is going to be found on tab 29. And who will be presenting that tonight?
Randy, Harley, who's courtroom security, he said we need more money.
You always have to say that.
That's representing Harley.
Okay.
I think he's making $12 an hour. I believe what he told me.
Mr. Chairman, I would address that. Harley, anybody knows Harley, he's opinionated. And he's called me a few times also, and I didn't hear the question when you asked that. Courtroom security is only $12.50 an hour. To me, that is not acceptable. I'm not asking that we should give them a modest pay raise, but it's hard for us to get part-time courtroom security even at $12.50 an hour. So I would like for you, each one of you, to take that into consideration of some type of pay raise increase for courtroom security to give them the incentive to come to work for courtroom and be part of the courtroom security. Because we are low on that totem pole also. We are low on the full-time, but we depend a lot of time on the part-time to fill in for full-time if we don't have it. So, Jay, do you have anything you want to add?
No, that's good.
And Howard, would it be appropriate to do that when we discuss all the raises for the year? For the
I think that
salaries?
would be the best time for us to address salary issues is during the wrap-up session. I understand that the mayor is working with a consulting firm to come up with some recommendations, and that should be ready for us at that time.
Yes, and I know that it's been discussed a little bit, but we don't have a final answer to that. So I'd kind of like to see what we do collectively for everyone on that piece.
Well, I have an opportunity to speak on behalf of the employees' pay raise to 25%.
You didn't get that, did you?
That was our presentation, we are asking for 25%.
We
Y'all
did-
may not have that.
we
But
did-
at some point, I'd like to
Yes.
discuss that.
We did get it, and they did discuss it, and we're aware of all that, but it's not on this particular budget.
Can I speak on behalf of that later?
Yes, yes. Okay, so on the courtroom securities tab, everything seems to be very in line with what it was for last year. Do we have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. All right. Number 4B, and this is Sheriff's Department. It's going to be tab 31. And this is the entire Sheriff's Department budget. So who will be presenting that tonight?
So that, if he's not pleased with the budget next year, y'all are my witnesses that he was present. It's pretty much self-explanatory. We presented the budget to the mayor, and the mayor went through and made several line changes that Captain Mullins and I discussed that. We don't see any potential problems with that, except there's not much cushion left on some of the line items, because no one in here has a crystal ball, but we can project that things are not going to get any better anytime soon. So some of the line items that were cut are, in my opinion, will have to be amended by budget, amendment request. Do you have anything to add to that, Chad?
Well, the deputy's line item was dropped $8,006.
Right. Yeah.
That's the one we had a question about.
Yeah. The question on that was, I think what the mayor did was on the projection, and then what we didn't actually use, he subtracted that, and it looked like they took $806, $8,006 from us. Is that the way you all understand that?
That's the way it reads here, Sheriff.
Deputy line.
That's what it see, but I could just speak to one thing to that. I have no idea what the mayor was thinking. He's not here to defend himself. But if you guys, if anybody were to need more, you know, it's rare that you come to us and we don't come through for you.
Well, what I did agree with was the overtime pay. And once again, that is projection, what was projected and what we actually used. And I agreed that we had a meeting in the wing down there, and I agreed that he could take $10,000 of that overtime money. Because if we have to work overtime, it's got to be paid anyway, you know. So if we can use this money for something else throughout the year without having used overtime, then so be it. It won't be just sitting there. So I agree with that. And gasoline, I think we agreed on gasoline. I don't know what gasoline's gonna go to, but anyway, once again, if that doesn't pan out, we will ask for a budget amendment on any item that the mayor has went through and compensated, you know, on the right-hand column there, so to speak. Do you have anything, Chad, you want to add? I want you to be happy now, because this is gonna be yours today.
And there is $75,000 additional dollars for gasoline, so that's good. That's a great starting point.
But he took 20,000 from maintenance,
Yeah, maintenance.
vehicle
and
maintenance, and
Right,
that's a, we
substantial.
have seen from the road department that that's a big issue. You know,
Maintenance
trying to
is a
find
big
parts
issue
and
because,
stuff.
you know, it's difficult to even get parts right now for vehicles, and maintenance is sky high on vehicles. Even if you can get parts. Captain Moore told me that somebody had ordered something, it's gonna take 36 to 48 months for the vehicle to get here.
The vehicles we ordered last year, we still don't have. And they won't give us a date when we can get them.
And they were anticipated to be around August or September, weren't they? Or something of that nature?
That, of course, increases the maintenance,
Yeah, and the wear and
if
tear.
you can get the parts,
Yeah.
If we
Horses.
lucky, we, you know.
horses.
Any other questions?
I like those.
Make a motion to approve this budget.
We got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, would this be a good time to address why I asked for a 25% pay raise?
Well, you certainly may.
Well, thank you. I want you to know, everyone in this commission to know, I have no animosity towards anyone in here. This is not anything personal. This is just on behalf of my employees, okay? So I prepared a statement, so it won't take too long of your time. That way I won't get off the subject. To become an officer with the sheriff's department, an individual has to pass a physical test that consists of sit-ups, push-ups, and a mile run within the time designated. An applicant has to pass a psychological They have to have a clean background record that consists of no criminal or civil charges. They have to pass a neighborhood background to determine if they have good standings within the neighborhood. If hired, they have to take 80 hours of training in order to become certified officer. Then they have to maintain the certification of attending 40 hours mandatory in-service training each year. Many other requirements are mandatory, but in respect of your time, I will move up. We have 53-person roster for the jail. In recent weeks, we have been short as many as 16 employees, with less than 10 applications on file. Today, we are 8 employees short, with 4 additional ones on medical leave due to being assaulted by inmates. We average an assault per day in the jail. Surgery is required and may be weeks before they come back, if they come back. Today we have 1 applicant to be hired. But he won't be hired because he's getting ready to be charged and arrested for criminal charges. So I admire him for his spunk. I have asked for pay raises in the past and also for the sheriff's department to be separated from the other county agencies. No other agencies require so much with such low pay. Officers are the one that rushes in to help when all others are running out. The statement has been made on several occasions that, quote, the sheriff did not ask for pay raise for his employees. This is not true. What we present as budget request is not what is presented to you in totality. In 2015, a salary suit that was filed on behalf of the employees by me because they were only getting paid $10.04 per hour. And at that time, I won't mention no name, but one county commissioner said that they got paid too much already. As a result of this salary suit, my employees' pay was bumped up to $12.50 per hour. And all county employees received the same thing that the sheriff's department received, including longevity pay, educational benefits, pay, and military pay. Y'all may remember those days, some of it. A few weeks ago, we had 4 applications and 2 called and canceled, stating that they could not afford the pay cut. We do exit interviews, and the number one reason for leaving that job over there is lack of pay. I'm about finished. We lose 60 to 70% employees per year. We are training these employees to obtain a better job with much higher pay and better benefits. There is no incentive for employees to work at the sheriff's department since the step raises were taken from them under the previous administration. A sheriff employee can never top out or even get to the mid-range with the pay scale. There seems to be no provision to address this problem, even though it has been addressed many times by me. Recently, we had a road deputy to resign to take a job with a neighboring agency starting out at $21.38. I'm not sure you he has no stress at this job. Plus, he has incentive to increase his pay as he does the job. There's provisions for that. A certain chain store near Walmart is starting their employee at $18 an hour. No stress. Go home every night, not beat up. Assured that they're going to go home. As many as others do in the same field. Law enforcement is called. Law enforcement is a calling, just like those who are called to preach. But many officers across the nation are leaving the chosen profession for better pay, better benefits, and peace of mind, knowing that they have a 99.9% chance of going home at the end of their shift without dying or being assaulted. Your employees of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department are the only ones within the county government who, each day or each night of their shift, are willing to protect you and your family, even if it means dying for you. Our duties and commitment to provide a safe environment for you to live and raise your family needs recognition and be rewarded separate from the other agencies. I'm not taking anything away from the other agencies. Last few words. Law enforcement. Last line of defense. Take it seriously. Any questions?
Okay. I think that we're having more discussions on this currently with the mayor, and we'll continue to do that. So I think it would be fine to table that at this point and move on to section 4C on the sexual offenders registry. That's tab 32. There is nothing outstanding that's unusual about this. Looks like they've done a fine job of keeping costs contained. Do we have a motion to approve this? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Any questions? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4D, this is the jail, tab 33. Who would like to speak on the jail?
I don't think we really asked for anything extra than what last year was, maybe a little bit on uniform, because, and which, anybody knows the uniform allowance is stayed up there anyway, because of the turnover, we were allowed to order uniforms still 6 months ago, so. But otherwise, I think we were about the same.
Yeah, everything looked in line to me. I saw no reason to be concerned about that. Does anyone have any other concerns with this?
Why is there such a decrease on the guards? I think it's 37,000 plus
On what?
on the guard line here. He's decreased it to 37,500 or $876.
From,
Where's he at?
He's right here.
And over last year's budget.
Yeah.
It's ours.
When we put the numbers in, for this, we're using your current, at the time that we do this, we're using the current roster. And at the time, Commissioner, we were 10 down. So you had 10 people in here at the most minimum, at the minimum starting salary. So that's what has happened, probably also with the deputies line item that the sheriff mentioned, is because of turnover, and we show that people at their exact rate as they are now. And so
Okay.
you had 10 spots
okay,
that were open at the time this, and of course, there's a starting pay, rather than folks that have a little extra, time under their belt. And I think that's why, and all of this.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Do we have a second? We got a second? Any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4E, tab 34, this is the workhouse. Again, with this presentation, consistent with last year, nothing to be particularly alarmed about that I see. Does anyone have any questions about this budget?
Got any grants coming in on that this year? Workhouse?
I don't,
Grants for the workhouse, not that I'm aware of. We keep 2 people, I think, assigned to that, and this is just basically their salaries again. And I don't know of any
Any additional questions?
No grants.
Motion to approve.
We got a motion to approve. We've got a second, Mr. Goins. Any additional comments? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Okay, 4F for Drug Control Fund, and this is going to be found under tab 55.
Move that we approve it.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? I will say, it looks, again, everything is consistent with what we have done. I think the drug control fines down $2,000, that's all. It's good. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4G, and this is going to be on the revenues. Ms. Hurst? This will be found on tab 4.
I'm going to go to the very last page of revenues. And compared to last year, our projections for this whole category are down $457,000. Now, if you look through the individual line items, you'll see that several are up, several are down. We can talk about any of those that you are interested in. But the main difference that accounts for that is that this year, or last year, we had a state government, local government grant, and it was for $547,000. And that one item alone accounts for all the difference that we see in this particular, in the revenue. Now, within the other categories, like I said, some are up, some are down, and basically, how we went about trying to estimate this, because it's just estimation, obviously. We took what we actually gotten through March and added, in most cases, the 3 or 4 months remaining of revenue in that line item from last year. So we were trying to see how things were trending as we were kind of moving out of, I'm gonna say, the heaviest COVID years, and that does help. Now, things are looking kind of tough right now, but our revenues are still holding steady, like we said. We're seeing some increases in the court fines, and that whole revenue section, and you can understand what the back, instead should be a full time now. So we're kind of rebounding there. Our property tax and all our other main sources are holding very steady. As property tax, sales tax is really improved, but that doesn't affect the general fund. So, again, fuel tax and business tax. Those are the big. Again, our fees, if I'm going to probably do another big section. And it's after the fines and forfeitures and jail fees and court fees. But it's what we receive from our county officials. We like to start from the last page. And it says fees received from county officials. And those are holding really steady this year.
You know, I've been told why, but I still don't understand why our property tax, with all the building that's going on, even in the county, doesn't increase any more than it increases.
Now, that is a question I think that Keith, our property assessor, could help answer. You know that we're on a 5-year property
Yeah.
cycle. there's what's called an equalization factor that's set by the state that reduces the value of the assessment. The first 2 years in your cycle, you hold steady at 100%. This is our third year. And I don't remember exactly the number, but it was like 75%. So that means we lost some of the value when they were comparing, setting the standard compared to market. So when Keith brought the original information to me, it looked better. Really, I was very pleased. But then when he applied, when they got the equalization factor from the state, it dropped it back. So it's part of their overall formula. And that's all I can.
I know. We just had a piece of property in the county sale for $1.4 million. And of course, I hope the new tax rate on that will reflect some additional money, but I'm not so sure it will.
I heard a lot of that won't be coming in, because a lot of those are just built in 2020 and 21. It'll be
Yeah.
the end of the year before you get that taxes.
Yeah.
And these 400 houses you're gonna be down here, if they build it today, it's gonna be a year later before you can get that money.
But part of what we saw was how the equalization factor from the state affects our assessment and appraisal values.
Ms. Hurst, on that article, that item you talked about the state, you had a grant for 500-something thousand that wiped that 457,000 out. Do we have that grant this year?
No. 2 years ago, our local government grant was in the neighborhood of $1 million. Last year, the legislature dropped it by about half. Our share last year was $500,000, $547,000. This year, there was no local government grant.
So we're looking at 457,000 shortfall this year.
And it's
Half
almost
$1 million.
all
Yeah.
explained by that one, we had that extra revenue last year.
Grants are good as long as they keep rolling, aren't they? But once they stop, you're in a hole. Thank you.
Chairman, what I'm fixing to say is not going to be very popular, but the fact is, we're having issues with our road department as far as getting these vehicles, getting roads paved, stuff like that, and they need money and stuff like that. We might want to look at wheel tax. We're still lower than most counties around if we raised it up to $30. I mean, that's $3. Anybody can afford $3 on their, more on their wheel tax.
What do you want to use the wheel tax for?
Road department.
Okay.
Road department or paving roads?
Paving roads.
Another thing, I don't know how this works, but
I'm sorry to hear you.
I wonder if, along the line that you're talking about, and we're off topic for Ms. Hurst here, but what about the gasoline tax? Do we petition the state? Everybody drives the roads.
Well, the state, now the state's looking at dropping their tax right now for a while.
They're also, I think they've already decided to drop the registration
They have.
fee for
Starts in
a
July.
year. So, yeah.
Maybe that's something we look at that, well,
Like the state.
we got a lot of discussions
taxes.
coming up, just like the sheriff's request for wages. We've got a lot to come by the end of this budget to go through, and that includes wages and roads.
Yeah.
Those are our biggest items, I think, this year.
And the thing with it is, if you raise the wheel tax up $3, I think a dollar is like $50-some thousand.
Something like that, we project at the current rate about $1.6 million.
Yeah. So that would go over a long way of paving some roads, I think. We got to get the money somewhere.
That'd be a good idea for a wheel tax. Just put it on a referendum, let the taxpayers see if they want to pay for it. Let them make the decision.
I just think that'd be the way to go. And if they complain, no one's got more cars than I do. Very few people in Hamilton County got more cars than I do. I've got 18 cars on the road. But the thing of it is, I think that'd be a way to go.
The problem that we've had in the past, the people have decided what they wanted the wheel tax to go for, and then a year or two later, the commission changes it.
That's right.
Yeah,
And now it's
And-
all
and-
going for general fund.
Right, and see, that's just what I'm saying, we need to dedicate, it's a wheel tax, it should go to paving the roads.
Commission went against what the public voted for. Exactly
There you
what
go.
they did 2 years later.
We certainly all know that we have to face the roads at some point. That's one of
We do,
our
we really
next
do.
big projects that
And
we'll
this,
have to
this would be a
address.
big help and a big thing toward it. And I think if people get their road paved, they're not gonna fuss about $3.
Satisfied. Look at where it comes in, it means satisfied.
Okay. Does
It don't make sense. to
anyone,
me.
I think that will be discussed again with
Right,
some
right.
of it
I
in the
understand.
future.
But I just want, I
so-
just have, want people to start thinking about that though.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Do we have any further comments about the revenues? If not, do we approve the revenues as presented?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion to approve. We've got a second. Any discussion?
Randy, when's it gonna come up about whether we decide we need to reduce some budgets or take away from nonprofits? Is that gonna be coming up? Is there any places we can make cuts in the county?
It'll be discussed under general fund.
General fund.
Yeah, when we talk about general fund, you'll deal with nonprofits.
Which that'll be Tuesday.
And then after that, we'll have
May
even the
31st.
June 13th meeting that we can make any
And
wrap-ups
what
and
I
changes.
recommend, everybody take a quick gander at the book, nonprofit book, what we give to, where it's going to, and all that other good stuff, you know. A lot of it we can't cut, can't touch it. Some of it we might be able to.
We've got a new group requesting $8,000.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's the group,
Used to be
that's the group,
ceased,
yeah.
but it's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
something else now.
And we can have that director here, and then they asked for that, and I know on that one, that they asked for that because since there's no longer a domestic violence shelter or organization functioning in Hamilton County, most of our folks that need help are going to Sevier County or Jefferson County, which is sponsored or administered by this group Safe Space. And in fact, last year, and we've got some statistics on this that we can, you know, but they can show you,
Yeah.
is that even though Safe Space administers for Sevier, Clark, Granger, and Jefferson, Hamilton County provided the second highest or highest rate of folks needing support. So after Sevier County, Hamilton County is being supported by their efforts. And most domestic shelters, and I think this is true across the state, I don't think it has anything just to do with Safe Space, but they will take in anyone who shows up that needs help. Doesn't matter what county. They don't turn you away because of where your place of residence might have been.
So which county's wanting $8,000? Jefferson?
It's the organization Safe
Oh,
Space.
and there's, okay.
Yes.
They control both counties.
According to their numbers and their statistics, Hamilton County is their second, I'm gonna say, the second highest county that they're serving. More folks, I hate to use the word victims, but more victims, more folks needing help, that's coming from Hamilton.
We just got a bunch of mean people around here.
And that was new as of last year, was it not? Cease stopped right before the meeting last year.
About 2 years
So,
ago, it might have
2
been
years.
three, depending on who you look back in.
And
I
see,
believe it's
we
two.
gave him money,
About
That's what I
that.
thought.
and
Because they were filling in.
so we
the gap.
stopped.
Yeah.
And we hope, I mean, I know everyone that is kind of involved, hope that Harbor and Hamlin would take off, but it was a really bad time. Well, again, right in the middle of COVID, started the organization.
Right.
They really struggled, even though we administered grants for them. So, we had hoped that Harbor of Hamlin was gonna fill that, and it just didn't work.
Right.
So Harbor of Hamlin is gone,
It is gone. It's
Okay.
totally dissolved.
and so Safe Space is developed to fill in the gap that we lost coverage for cease.
You see, then the Harbor of Hamlin, we had a couple of grants, but like I said, they had such difficulty doing any kind of fundraising because of, the COVID situation. And then because of, again, some of the things that had happened overseas, they've totally lost their shelter.
What they do is survive for 2 years,
They didn't.
since it shut down 2 years ago.
They
Well,
didn't.
they provided minimal services, and they depended on the grant to try to get them over the hump.
Depending on what?
They depended on the grant, but it just wasn't enough.
From the agenda, it looks like that we may have somebody from that particular group that'll make a presentation. Because it says General Fund Department presentations. I don't know, I just assumed that he will probably have somebody here.
So that's, and they have offered and requested to be here, they can explain and present their case better than I can, but I know that they see so. Is that they're filling the gaps for us, for Hamlin. And the whole not-for-profit section is on page 53. You mentioned taking a look, but in your book, we have a summary. I don't think you want to go into that tonight, but you mentioned
Yeah.
that page 53 has the detail on the top.
And it does look like that May 31st is when those will be presented, correct?
That's my understanding. Yes, it's the 30th.
Which is next Tuesday. Okay.
Now, we've been requesting, just let me just add this, we're having some technical difficulties, but we're trying, some of you have gotten that big old contributions book for Finder. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's all this background information, the documentation that's in it. We're trying to get that online, but it was like 500 pages, and it wouldn't scan and transfer. So we're going to a step back, and then we're going to see what we can do to get it on. If Jeff can help us, or whether we'll have to just do it this section. So we're trying to get the whole thing. We tried today, and it didn't work.
All right, thank you. As for announcements, we've got upcoming budget meetings, 31st, which we've just discussed, June the 2nd for school department, June the 7th for department deliberations and open items and budget updates. June 9th will be total budget open items and budget updates. We'll wrap up on June the 13th and vote for a proposed budget. And then 27th or 28th, we should adopt the budget.
Chairman?
We got the motions. I've just been informed that I didn't ask for a vote on that one. So, all in favor of item 4G, the approval of the revenues, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you. Any additional comments or concerns?
Chairman,
Yes.
was that June the 13th, is that when we'll discuss the wages and possible roads and things? Is that where we're going to do that?
Well, I think we'll have some discussions of those prior to that, but we
Okay.
have that one open to wrap it up and finish any.
Okay. I just think, it is, it's imperative that we find a resolution to these things. We all know what's coming. We see it. I'm a 37-year employee in Marshtown Utility System, and I know what it's like to get a raise. And these folks, I want to err. If I make an error, I want to err in the side of people. I want to help people. And everybody's struggling, and we know this is there. We just got to find a way, whether it's cuts, whatever means we need to do. I feel like we really need to look at and helping our employees for our county, for our sheriff's department. I know it's rhetorical. We all feel this way, but we've got to do something. And not only that, but the roads. You know, if they're demanding, I mean, what Wayne said, maybe that's what we need to do. Put it on referendum. Let them vote on how we spend the money for the roads and come up with a solution. Come up with that 20-year plan that Barry talked about. We've got to find a way to make these answers. And no better way than what Wayne said, maybe we let the people decide, where do you want it? Because right now we don't have the revenue to take care of all these things. So we've got big questions in front of us.
It don't balance out, obviously.
I'm done.
Think we get commission to vote on the referendum?
Well, if we might do that, Wayne, for the roads.
And it also alleviates some money so that we could use for raises.
Yeah. I just see it's big issues in front of us that we have to answer.
They're coming up quick.
They are. They've been on the horizon for some time. It's just we've got to do something.
If we go into a recession like it's predicted,
You know, it couldn't be.
they're going to need their money.
Couldn't be at a worse time, you know, with our economy, and national economy hitting us. We're coming out of really good years. The state's in really good shape.
Yeah.
I think with the right management here, we can make something happen. You know, it's just that we're going to have to bite it off as a county, not as individuals. It's going to take a county to do this.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned.